You are welcome to online lectures with Pharmaceutical, the school board. Today, we'll take a look at pharmaceutical calculations. We have a question from one of my students that I want to solve today. The question says, okay, the question says 1.7% weight in volume of boric acid is an isotonic solution. What is the sodium chloride equivalent of boric acid? Okay, we are given 1.7%, only one parameter was given, 1.7% weight in volume, because it's strength of boric acid solution. But we are told that this strength of boric acid solution makes this solution an isotonic solution. What it means is that this solution can depress the freezing point of water by 0.52 degrees Celsius. That's the meaning. Just the same way, 0.9% weight in volume of sodium chloride solution, which can depress the freezing point of water by 0.52 degrees Celsius. What it means is that 1.7% weight in volume of boric acid solution has the same tonic effect as 0.9% weight in volume of what? Of sodium chloride solution. So that means that 1.7% weight in volume of boric acid is equivalent to 0.9% weight in volume of sodium chloride solution in terms of tonicity. That's the meaning. So let's take it off from there. Solution. So let me come over to this side. Or let me start, no problem. Solution. So what this means is that 1.7% weight in volume of boric acid is equivalent to what? 0.9% weight in volume sodium chloride what? Solution. That's the meaning. In terms of what? Tonicity. In terms of what? Tonicity. They have the same tonicity because this one depresses the freezing point of water by 0.52 degrees Celsius. This one also depresses the freezing point of water by 0.52 degrees Celsius. So two of them have the same freezing point, minus 0.52 degrees Celsius, minus 0.52 degrees Celsius. So they are equivalent in terms of what? Tonicity. Now, by 1.7% weight in volume this one means 1.7 gram of boric acid in what? 100 ml solution. This one also means 0.9 gram of what? Sodium chloride. Okay, let me write it out well. So this one means 0.9 gram of sodium chloride in what? 100 ml solution. This one means 1.7 gram of boric acid in 100 ml what? Solution. That's meaning this one 1.7 gram of boric acid in 100 ml solution. This one means 0.9 gram of sodium chloride in 100 ml solution. So they are in the same 100 ml solution. So in another sense, since they are the same 100 ml solution, that also means that 1.7 gram of boric acid is equivalent to what? 0.9 gram of what? Sodium chloride. Let me write it out here well. It means that 1.7 gram of boric acid is equivalent to what? 0.9 gram of what? Sodium chloride. That's the meaning. That 1.7 gram of boric acid is equivalent to 0.9 gram of sodium chloride, because in the same 100 ml solution, two of them have the same what? Tonic effect. They are isotonic. So if 1.7 gram of boric acid is equivalent to 0.9 gram of sodium chloride, let's move a step deeper to answer this question. Let's go back to, we have resolved this. Let's go back to sodium chloride equivalent. We need to understand the meaning of sodium chloride equivalent before we can bring it into this question. Now, what is sodium chloride equivalent of a substance, of boric acid? The substance here now is boric acid. Sodium chloride equivalent of boric acid is the amount of sodium chloride that have the same tonicity, or that is equivalent to 1 gram of what? Boric acid. So in general, actually, sodium chloride equivalent of a substance is the amount of sodium chloride that have the same tonicity or tonic effect, or is equivalent to 1 gram of that substance. And the substance here is what? Is what? Boric acid. That's why I said that the sodium chloride equivalent of boric acid is the amount of sodium chloride that have the same effect, tonic effect, as 1 gram of boric acid. Now let's bring this thing I define now, I explain now to this thing, to this equation. Here now, 1.7 gram of boric acid is equivalent to 0.9 gram of what? Sodium chloride. They have the same tonic effect. But this 0.9 gram of sodium chloride is not the sodium chloride equivalent of what? Boric acid. It's one that will be equivalent to 1 gram of boric acid. So now let us bring it here. So now, to calculate the sodium chloride equivalent of boric acid, we don't know. We call it X and equate it to what? 1 gram, because it's the amount of sodium chloride that will be equivalent to 1 gram of boric acid that will give us the sodium chloride equivalent of what? Boric acid. So 1 gram of boric acid will now become what? X. So we cross multiply. X is now equal to what? 1 gram times 0.9 gram over what? 1.7 gram. Gram will cancel gram. 0.9 divided by 1.7. S will now give us, this should give us around 0.528 or so. Let me be sure. That should be 0.5, but let me be sure. So if we have 0.9 divided by 1.7. Okay, sorry, you have 0.529, sorry, 0.529. So it's 0.529. 0.529. So sodium chloride, based on this now, the sodium chloride equivalent of boric acid based on this question is 0.529. And we have always have it as a standard. It's pegged at 0.52 or something as a standard, but for the calculation here, based on what they ask here, is 0.529. So this is sodium chloride equivalent of boric acid, and it is designated with the symbol E value. So E value is set as sodium chloride equivalent. That's it. So E value of boric acid is what? 0.529 based on this question. That's the answer to the question. So if you have any question, please feel free to drop your questions on the comments on the chat box of this live video, or you can call these numbers, any of these numbers. We have 2 minutes for questions. You can call any of these numbers: 081 3868 2003 or 07012 945891. Ask your questions. Excuse me. No questions. So in absence of any questions, we end this lecture here. We'll go for a short break. We'll come back online again around 3:30 a.m. We're back again for the second section. See you then. God bless you.